Yeah, this is pretty bad. Hello guys, welcome to Attack on Titan episode 55 review. The episode title is The Midnight Sun. What the fuck does that mean? We'll talk about that later, okay? Right now, let's just talk about, the fact that this episode just had no animation, okay? Like no fighting, no action, no real crazy shit was going on visually. Only two soundtracks were playing, and this episode is like one of the best episodes in the series. The lack of animation led to a focus on this still frames, which, resulted in one of the best and most consistent looking episodes in the show. Almost every angle, every art, every conversation looked really great. There was a lot of detail in a lot of the drawings. The fact that there's no music just gives way to the fantastic performance of the voice actors, okay? Like, almost everyone was nailing it, I said this before, Attack on Titan is one of the best fucking voice acting casts, and this episode is where they shine, okay? Wow, Eren, Mikasa, Levi, Zeke, a little bit of Erwin, a little bit of Reiner, Hange, Jean, Bertolt, dude, everyone, Floch, oh my god, Floch, dude, everyone was nailing it, bro. I knew what was going to happen in this episode, but man, I was tearing up. I actually recorded a live reaction, but it was boring. It was I'm really just silently looking at the episode, and there's like a little tear. It got me, dude. That probably I don't know. It was like Mikasa's screaming was definitely the hardest one for me. But then Bertolt was like, oh, dude, I don't want to go into that. So this episode starts with Zeke and Eren finally meeting. Eren looks at this fucking guy and he's like, oh, dude, this guy has like Titan marks. That means he's the Beast Titan. And you can bet your ass that Zeke is doing the same fucking thing. He's looking at Eren, seeing this, and he's like, oh, you're Eren Yeager. Notice how he doesn't talk about, the founding Titan, the coordinate. Oh, you're that. No. Instead, he's like, Eren Yeager, you look nothing like your father. He actually gets a little bit emotional when he says, you're Eren Yeager. Very subtly, but I know his motivation, so I'm immediately picking up on that. Anyway, among the many things that he says, I know what you're going through. We're both victims of your father. You've been brainwashed by him. What does that mean? Does that mean that Zeke has been brainwashed by Grisha too? How does he know Grisha? And then you have the visuals where it very clearly shows that Grisha and Zeke have similarities. Before he leaves the scene, Zeke talks about how he wants to save Eren one day. Again, he's not talking about the coordinate or the founding or whatever. It makes you question, is this what the warriors are trying to do? They're trying to save Eren? Or is this like a personal thing for Zeke? Either way, we're actually going to learn a little bit about this sooner rather than later. But something to think about. And why is he leaving, by the way? I haven't talked about that yet. Well, Levi shows up and he looks like a devil. I think it's actually really funny that Zeke just says, oh, okay, well, Levi, let's call it a draw. He's clearly been bested by Levi, but he's like, yeah, it's a draw, guys. Which is funny because we're seeing all this baseball theme going on with Zeke, which kind of leads you to believe that this guy has a competitive side to him, and maybe also he's kind of a sore loser, and that's how he leaves this scene, running away from Levi. And it's interesting, he says something like, hey, Bertolt, I'm sorry, this is it for you, something like that. Now it's interesting because he was there to probably grab Bertolt and get out. I don't think he immediately recognized that was Eren. He didn't knew Eren and doesn't know how he looks like. But he never really discovered about the serum that they have. So as far as he knows, no one's going to eat Bertolt. He just assumed that they were just going to kill him or maybe somehow imprison like they did Annie. But again, as far as Zeke knows, Annie's fucking around somewhere hiding. He doesn't believe that they have the technology to do anything. But Reiner is going to listen to the fact that, no, dude, they have serums. And they also have Thunder Spears. I don't know what's going on, but these guys all of a sudden can do a whole lot. Eren is also getting hard. I don't know what's happening, bro. In 2 months or whatever, they did some shit. Meanwhile, you have the other guys dealing with Reiner, well, or what's left of him. And man, he's so fucked he doesn't even have hair, by the way. That's how bad he is. Essentially, they found out that Reiner had this thing that turns out to be a letter from Ymir to Krista. Fuck Krista, Historia is the real name. Reiner, you know this.
そしてクリスタだ。絶対に救い出してやるぞ。ユミルとの約束だからな。
He was actually touching, that fucking thing. But Ymir's not there to give that letter, so again, it brings the question, where the hell is she? Why is she giving letters to Historia? Like, can she not talk to Historia? What's going on? That's what's happening there. They're kind of suspicious of that, and Hange is talking to him, and she's very much like willing to kill him. Like Reiner's not gonna say anything, and she's like, okay, we're done. Let's kill you. Jean stops her and reminds her, hey man, we have the serum. We can steal his power. Like you shouldn't kill him just yet. And that is reasonable. Like that makes sense, and that's the whole conflict of this episode. But this whole thing is portrayed as if Jean is hesitating to kill Reiner, which is funny because like he was the one that was chastising Coney and Sasha for crying when they were attacking Reiner earlier. Hange then calms down, and I don't know if it was before or after, but like Jean specifically called Hange out for like she's not acting like herself, because Hange kind of takes a little bit of risks in there and is generally like curious and not really a cruel person. Not usually, anyway. We know from this episode, like a lot of people died, a lot of people that she cared about, specifically Moblit, and she is tired. She just wants to, be safe. For now, she can't be like herself. But this makes Hange order Mikasa to check up on the Eren and Armin situation, which is really interesting because Hange was not present when Armin was making his plans in the last episode. She's already thinking, hey man, they were dealing with the Colossal. There was a lot of burning. I think something happened. Mikasa, go check up on that. Like, someone might need that serum to survive. And that's, what happened. So Mikasa arrives, and she fires, and Hange sees that. It's like, okay, time to kill this fucking asshole. Let's fucking go. And, the Backpack Titan shows up and grabs Reiner, runs away. Hange gets saved by Jean. This is not the last time we're going to see Hange getting saved in this episode. But they don't steal Reiner's powers. Reiner doesn't die. Reiner, once again, is surviving bullshit. Holy shit, the hatred for Reiner in these chapters was insane. Like, back then, like, people were just like, fucking die, what are you doing? And he's still surviving, but it's funny. Jean is like blaming himself, but Hange reminds him that this was her decision. So while I was editing, I noticed that I forgot to mention that Coney is on the rooftop, supposedly on lookout, and somehow he didn't notice the Backpack Titan coming up. Are you stupid? Are you deaf? Are you blind? I know, like, Sasha is the one with the super earring, but this guy was, like, making some big, loud footsteps. What is this guy doing? That's it for this scene. Let's go to what's more important. So, when the Beast Titan runs away to grab Reiner, Eren is talking with Levi. Levi's like, yo, give me your gas, give me your blades, I'm going after him, we're gonna kill him right then and there. But Armin starts coughing. And man, I repeated this many times, and I'm gonna repeat this again. These chapters are monthly, okay? You have one chapter that ends with Erwin getting hit, and it's like, oh, dude, that's a death. And then you have the next chapter, Marlo's dead. Hints of Armin being dead. The next chapter comes out. It's like 3 months now or whatever, and it's like, oh, dude, Armin's dead. Fuck. Every character that I like is dying. It's a month of waiting, and within these months, I'm going through like the whole like depression cycle of like the bargaining, anger, acceptance, like all that shit. I'm going through that every month. This was like a summer. Man, like Armin specifically died on like World Oceans Day and Best Friend Day. It was something like that, bro. It was like, fuck you, Sam. I remember being disheartened a little bit by Attack on Titan. I was like, fuck, I like this show, but I think I might be done emotionally. No, like, you're killing everyone that I like. I don't know. I was being a baby, absolutely. But again, I was accepting the deaths, right, of these characters. And then this chapter comes out, and at the start, you have Armin coughing, and I'm like, oh, there's hope. I'm like freaking the fuck out. And then by the end, you have the main conflict being introduced. So Eren starts screaming at Armin, just like I was. Mikasa then arrives, and it looks like she's having a headache, and that is a thing with Mikasa, guys. I'm gonna show footage here and there now. Mikasa has headaches when, things are happening. I can't say what's going on, but that is absolutely important because of many things. A lot of the times when, like, headaches were happening was because with people that she cared about, right? Like it was like family. So and absolutely, Armin is a part of her family. Remember this. This is actually really important. She's having a headache, 100%, and it's because of Armin. So because Armin is alive, Eren starts screaming to Levi, yo bro, like give me the serum, I know you have it, because apparently every soldier in the Survey Corps was warned about the fact that they had that thing and they could use it, how everyone was explained how that thing worked and stuff. Like everyone knew, every soldier knew, which is why this whole situation is happening. Levi agrees to give the serum, but there is hesitation. He doesn't give him immediately because he's kind of just hoping that Erwin is somehow alive. And man, you were fucking right, because Floch miraculously shows up right on time and brings Erwin, who's wounded but still alive, ready to be, given a little injection. And so one of the most controversial events in Attack on Titan can begin. That was nicknamed the Serum Bowl. It's a pun of the Super Bowl. Like I know you don't know Game of Thrones had the Clegane Bowl, which I always hated. It was not funny. It was not interesting. And then it actually happens in the last season, and it was just. But this one is good for the most part. It's pretty good. Now let me just again say that like this was a month. Like this is like the chapter pretty much ends here. Who gets to fucking be revived? Okay, it ends with that. There's like specifically a shot with Zeke and Reiner. They're overlooking Shingeki, and he's like, "Yo, Reiner, you're fucking lucky, bro." And Reiner's like crying. Was that in the anime? Like, I don't remember seeing him crying. I'm not sure, but he was definitely crying because he was like, "Oh, Bertolt's like fucked." And like Zeke, like he knew they had a serum, like they were going to eat Bertolt, like right then and there. But specifically, that panel had like like this text that was saying something like, "The cold, pragmatic decision, a heartless decision, is going to take away their childhood friend." Something like that. It was like so dramatic, but it was like, yeah, that's it. That's what's going to happen. Levi has a serum. He's going to call the shots, and it looks like Armin might die because Erwin is the best choice. Logically, he is. Now, this was an all-out war when this came out. This was controversial as shit. And it is an event that we still talk about to this day. Like, oh, what if like Erwin was alive? Like that is still a conversation that we have. I like this event for the most part, and I think it's really good. But we gotta be real here. Like, it is one of the most contrived moments in Attack on Titan. Okay, and what do I mean by that? For example, Floch. Like, this guy survived the suicide charge. All right, okay, sure. Erwin, like, got wounded, but not fatally. Like, he's still going. Okay, sure, okay. But Floch is like carrying this dude all the way from where they were into this random rooftop in Shingeki. Like he had to go like atop of the wall. You know what I mean? Like he's bringing this dude that looks way heavy than him, and he just arrives just in time before shit gets used. That's a little iffy. But the main problem is actually Armin. Armin got roasted so bad it actually got a little bit racist, okay? Not just blackface, that was like black body. But then you have to remember, like, Coney was already like freaking out because he breathed in a little bit of the chemicals and all that stuff. Reference to a shit song, fucking Jesus. But like, you know what I mean? Like, he was freaking out over the colossal steam. And then you have Armin, being so close to that. And he is like the Colossal's like 60 meters, Armin's like right up here or something. Like he's very close, and he drops into a rooftop. So like I don't know maths, but it's a couple of meters. So not only is getting burned, not only is breathing these chemicals or whatever, like he's falling into this rooftop. He still has pants, by the way. Thank God we're not seeing burned dick. Thank you. I didn't ask for that. But man, he's still alive. Armin, of all characters. So yeah, like honestly, that whole thing is like, and you gotta eat that up. Having said that though, this leads to, like this video is gonna be really long. I have a lot of things to talk about because this leads to amazing character drama, amazing acting, amazing fucking themes going on. Like everything is good. It's just, how we got here is a little, you know what I mean? So naturally, Levi immediately is like, okay, oh, dude, I was hoping for Erwin. Here he is. Delivered to me. Let's fucking go. And Eren gets fucking upset. Levi shuts him down. And that's what was going on in the glitched ending from, season 3, part 1. Which, like, as a manga reader, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, wow, you're spoiling people. Like, what the fuck? I think it would have been cool to, not know anything. Especially because that episode ends on, like, happy notes. And immediately, like, oh, fuck, shit's gonna go bad. Mikasa pulls her sword. Levi punches Eren and his teeth are fucking just gone. Like half of it. Mikasa jumps on Levi. Floch comes in and is like, yo, Mikasa, what are you doing? Stop. And she fucking gives him an angry look and he stops. For now. Eren then is almost falling on the rooftop, which is, it's a very similar shots to season 1. Eren starts talking about Armin's accomplishments. I don't know if it was around this time. Like, I feel like the term Armong. It was like a bunch of Armin haters were using, and I think it's funny. As an Armin fan, I'm a huge Armin fan, but I don't know, it's funny to me. You know, like a lot of the criticisms that his haters would throw are, you know, about how like a lot of his accomplishments are not really like that big of a deal, or anyone could have done that, something like that. You can definitely argue. Like the one that I'm definitely like think it's a little like, come on guys, it's the fact that Armin was the one that suggested to go to Shingeki at night. The information that Titans only really move during the day, and at night they're restricted. Like that information, you know, I feel like with that information, like even someone like Coney could have made that suggestion. Oh, why do we go there at night? Like I don't know. Like it doesn't scream big brain Armin to me. Whatever. Like Armin is doing things, you know. Like fuck those haters. But who gives a fuck? Okay, who cares? Because the one that's going to save humanity is not Armin. It's Erwin, according to Floch. And fucking Mikasa's like, yo, be quiet. And this guy, bro, this guy's just fuck you, bitch. It's so funny. Like, man. Like if this was any other show, he would have stayed quiet, and he did the first time. But like now he's just not. You're not gonna stop. Like you said, Armin is gonna save humanity, bro. Shut the fuck up. Let's talk about Floch. In one of my videos, I talked about Marlowe. How Marlowe was like representing the other soldiers that were dying, and that's not wrong. Like, he represents like an emotional side. Like, it's people like him that are dying. But Floch is absolutely the humanization, like the physical manifestation of the canon fodder. Like he is a character that represents those guys, the nobodies, the people that you don't know. Like, you look at this guy, you're like, who the fuck is this asshole? So many soldiers were like him, and he is expressing those thoughts. Erwin is telling him to die. He's like, yo, you're going to send us to our deaths? Dude, we're gonna die meaningless death. Floch was a guy that was in the garrison. What are the implications right then and there? He's not good enough to join the military police, and he's not brave enough to join the Survey Corps. The garrison, to be a little offensive to any garrison boys out there that are watching this video, but the garrison is, like, for the most part, where the mediocrity is. And it's people like this that get tricked into joining the Survey Corps. After the royal government gets fucked and the Survey Corps is all cool again, and they're talking about how they have ways to retake Wal Maria finally, and this is how they tricked people like Floch, you know, to join. You know, hey man, we can do it. You know, you have Marlowe. Marlowe was like an idiot. Marlowe was like crazy. Of course he was going to join. Like, we know his character, we know how he behaves. He legitimately wants to do good things. But people like Floch are being sweet talked into joining this shit. Hey man, you can be the soldier, the brave soldier that can save the people. That's the shit that he was talking about. And when he heard that speech, he thought he could have be that soldier. He thought he could have been someone brave, and then he realized that he wasn't that guy, and he realized that he didn't want to die meaningless death. In fact, I didn't think that joining the Survey Corps would have led to such meaningless deaths. And he's thinking about how the other people that died, they probably thought the same fucking thing, that holy shit, we're dying like flies and it doesn't fucking matter, this sucks. And he's so fucking broken by that. This hurts him deeply. He didn't want to die like that, and this is what's going on. This is what happens in the Survey Corps. And why would he think he could have been different? He's not. He's just some fucking dude that fucking sucks. And he just keeps talking. He keeps talking about the people that were sent to the suicide charge, and how, at the end of the day, they were not thinking about how noble their deaths are going to be. They were just terrified. They were just screaming. They looked terrified and scared and afraid that they were going to die like that. In the manga, like, he's name dropping. Like Lysandra, the girl that was vomiting, Gordon, some fucking dude, who cares? Marlowe. We've seen Marlowe. At the end of the day, he was not talking about, oh, dude, I'm proud. No, he was thinking about Hitch. Marlowe is the emotional side, as we, the viewers, need to look at this event and be like, this is fucked, and we're losing someone that we care about. And these guys have dreams and hopes, and maybe girlfriends too. But fucking Floch, he didn't want to be there, but he accepted it, was a part of the suicide charge, and his friends are killed, and they won, kinda. And that's something that he admires about Erwin. Like, they won at the end of the day, but holy shit, so many people died. He was told by Erwin that he had to give up his life, that he had to give up on his dreams. To join the Survey Corps, he had to give up on everything. Only one thing matters is victory and humanity, and that's it. And, you know, at first, he survives, and you gotta understand that the massive, you know, survivor's guilt that he has over that fucking event. He doesn't understand why the fuck he's still standing right That's something very important too. But he's walking and he finds Erwin, and at first he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, fucking asshole, because he hates him, for putting him through this shit. But then he realizes, nah, I gotta make him suffer. And then he looks at Levi and he's like, oh dude, that guy is crazy. We need people like him. Like at the end of the day, like Erwin was effective. And that's what we need. This guy did it, and I kind of respect that. I hate him, but I respect that. So he does his job, he hates fucking Erwin, but he's bringing him here to Levi to get the fucking serum. And he arrives here, and all he's seeing is these selfish fucking assholes. While he has to give up on everything, on his friends' lives, on his own life to do the suicide charge and die. Fucking Eren and Mikasa are fighting for their friends because they cannot give up on Armin. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're soldiers. What are you doing? This is so fucked up. Because of his survivor's guilt, he doesn't understand why he's alive. Like, he's just like, what the fuck? And he's desperately looking for a reason. And he found his reason in Erwin. And now these guys are not giving him that. And by the end of the episode, we see that Erwin's not the one that's chosen, right? Erwin dies, and Floch is so utterly shocked by this shit. He's like, what the fuck? Like, everything was taken from him. Even a justification for his survival. He has nothing left. I can't hate him. At least not right now. I completely understand where he's coming from. Back then, and recently, a friend of mine said the same thing, was about how, like, hey, instead of Floch, like, why is it not Marlowe? I feel like Marlowe maybe could have, like, argued for Erwin's life. And, like, Floch, like, the whole point of this character and his message, like, what he's saying, is only stronger when it's a character that you don't care about. It's a background character. And it's more realistic, too. That there's also that angle. Floch is saying, basically, hey, fuckers, a lot of people died that you don't care about, and that is not okay. That is not okay. What you're doing right now, fighting for your friends, that is not okay. And you shouldn't expect this kind of shit in the military. Okay, this is the military. This is not fucking, your friend's little enemy group, and we need to revive our commander. And it's realistic because you shouldn't expect your friends to all be alive. There's just some dude that you don't like. Having said that, it's in this episode that Eren finally drops the name Floch, but I've been saying it for fucking, all these videos. Anyway, this guy finishes his speech and he just goes up to Mikasa. If this was Mikasa from season 1, she probably would have killed people. I remember the scene from season 1 where she was like implying that she was like totally coldly like, I'm gonna do it, I don't care. When Floch goes up to her, she actually turns her blade. She was going to attack him, but she was not going to just cut this fucking guy to be done. At the very least, she was trying to minimize the damage as much as possible because this guy did nothing wrong yet. But thankfully, this is where Hange shows up and she pulls Mikasa aside. This is where Mikasa just loses it. She starts screaming, and I remember like the panel in the manga was just like really badly drawn. It didn't look good, and in the anime, specifically that part where she like screaming, like it doesn't actually look that great. There's like this slightly like comedic side to it. It looks kind of funny, but very quickly you realize the context and the character. This is Mikasa that is behaving like such a baby and crying. It's like, holy shit, this is insane. It's fucking shocking seeing her acting like this. And in the anime, bro, like her voice actress just yelling it. It's just, oh, that was what got me. I was like, oh, fuck my ass. Mikasa loves Armin, okay, so much, and this is the most painful thing ever, that she has to go through so much in her life, her family just dying again and again and again and again. But specifically this time, it was Armin, and no wonder why I was, like pointing out in a lot of my reviews that, they're interacting a lot. And Sam was, foreshadowing that, like, hey, remember your friends? Hey, because he died. When the anime, has a lot of Eren moments, it's easy to forget that she, cares about this guy. There's one scene in season 1 where Armin's like looking at a blade because he's suggesting that he's gonna kill himself with that, and she grabs it and throws it away, saying that she's not gonna let Armin die. And then you had like one of my favorite scenes. It was cut from the anime, unfortunately, where Armin's like saying some fucked up shit, and he's like, just kidding. And the panel looks so fucking funny, and everyone's like, what the fuck, Armin? What are you doing? And Eren's like, oh, dude, no, he's always been like a little fucking devil. Mikasa's like, I don't remember raising him like that. She fucking likes him. And Hange starts talking about, yo, bro, there's so many people that died in the Survey Corps. I have people that I want to bring back too. And we're finally seeing how she survived. And we have the flashback with Moblit. He touched her ass or whatever, pushed her into the conveniently placed well. I've always been confused, like, how she supposedly, like, injured her eye. In the manga, it was very unclear. It was just like, my eye. What? Apparently, it's like debris or something that just shattered those stupid glasses. And yeah, but you should probably not have that. And that reminds me of Gogglescoon. Who the fuck is Gogglescoon? His name is Abel, actually. This guy was a part of her squad too. And that's the thing. In this season alone, like, so many people from her personal squad died. And now another person, probably more important, who was with her all this fucking time, Moblit, died. And yeah, it's fucking sad, and this is why she was acting so out of character before. Also, I was talking before the eye shit, I forgot to mention. The eye stuff, like, it's kind of always been a thing with Hange. I remember, like, the opening, where there's a shot with her goggles, and one of them breaks. But I think it was the opposite eye, actually. And there's other shots, like when she's covered in blood in season 3. Kind of foreshadowing here, the anime actually made it a bit more clear, so thank you. But yeah, a lot of people die, and it's painful. It's so painful. Like, it's hard to keep your sanity, but all you have to do is just keep moving forward. The words "keep moving forward" are very important in Attack on Titan. A recurring theme in the future. And Mikasa, you know, like, she listens to this and she gives up. Mikasa gives up. If this was Eren, would she give up? Probably not. I don't think so. At this point, probably not. But I think this lays the foundation for, like, in the future, she could actually, you know, for whatever reason, choose to not save Eren or something. Her development has been one of, like, I only care about these people, but then actually I kind of cared enough about Reiner and Bertolt to not kill them immediately. I like Sasha, I like a lot of people, and I'm in the middle of the Trust District, I'm defending people, this girl is looking up to me, and I do the salutes, and for the first time in my life, I'm not protecting someone just because it's Eren or whatever. For the first time in my life, I'm doing something because it's my duty, and I'm proud of it. Doing something on her own that is not about Eren. And she is more conscious of the bigger picture, and she agrees with Hange. Like Floch said, so many people died. So many people died. And I'm just remembering, like Hange talks about how a lot of people dying, but like, Hange did not listen to Floch talking about how the other side of the wall doesn't have people. So how does she know? Whatever, bro. Whatever. The main point with Hange is that a lot of people in the Survey Corps died, and if the commander dies, dude, that's like the symbol of the Survey Corps. That is gonna be such a devastating death. It's gonna be hard for us to gain more people to fight back. The fighting is not done, and Erwin, he's so charismatic. He's so talented. He can fucking tell people how to die fucking real good, and without him, that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to convince people, and you cannot expect people to want Armin back. Like Floch doesn't give a fuck about Armin, doesn't know who this guy is. And like I told you, Floch is a representation of the canon father, the people who don't fucking matter. That's how most people will feel, okay? Nobody knows Armin. So they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Why is Armin being the one that's surviving this? What? Why didn't you choose the commander? But Mikasa herself accepts that and gives up. But Eren still has a little something to say. And he grabs Levi's leg and he's like, yo, bro, have you ever heard of the ocean? And he starts talking about this Armin's dreams. So emotional, so good. Floch is a piece of shit. He's like, shut up. Levi's like, fuck off. Get out. Just get out. Just leave. Coney's crying. Jean is just in shock. But yeah, they all leave. And Erwin is leaving. And you probably noticed, but like, he's like being taken away. And you know, it's like has his arms stretched out. It's the exact same shit that he was doing with Carla when she died. I mean, Hannes was taking him away. Perilous, bro. And now we arrive at the fucking meat of the episode. The most controversial thing that happened, which is Levi's decision. Now, in my super late fucking review, because my computer it was like, ha! I said in that review that I was like, hey man, you should watch the episode with Kenny and the last episode of season 3 part 1, because they're so relevant to this scene, right? The choice. And it's hard to talk about this. It's hard because there's so many perspectives, so many different opinions going on here, so many things to consider. Everyone's gonna have their own take, right? I'm gonna give my own take, you know, but you know, again, this is influenced by a lot of conversations with a lot of people throughout the years, actually, which is interesting. You know, like I barely even remember what is my original thoughts on this. Back then, I just like, I want Armin back because I like Armin more than Erwin. Like, probably that's, you know, that's top 2 or whatever. Like, Armin's above. But man, I was like, how the fuck is Armin gonna live this shit? Well, Levi chooses Armin. A lot of people like to say that no, he didn't choose Armin. In fact, Armin was never a factor in Levi's decision, and I think that's wrong. The primary decision is absolutely Erwin and all that's going on with him. In the last episodes, what we saw was a broken man, divided between his childhood dreams and the responsibilities as an adult and as a commander. Unlike what Pixies and Zachary were saying, Erwin cares about human lives, or at the very least, he has guilt over the death that he's caused. And his dream, seeing the basement and proving his father's fury, is a dream based on death, based on guilt. Erwin is not happy. He said that one time that he is in season 2. His dream is just based on like negative shit, and it's not really like something like, yeah, cool. No, he's not celebrating anything. And ultimately, being so close to the basement, he's still thinking about the mountain of corpses. He's so chained by the dream. If everyone is a slave to something, you best be sure that Erwin is a slave. This dream is not good. It's entrapping him, and he doesn't feel fucking happy about it. And he's expressing this shit to Levi. And Levi, I would say that initially when he saw how selfish Erwin really was, he was like, fucking, this is the guy that I fucking was following. But when Erwin expresses his feelings, Levi understands him and gives the answer that Erwin wants to hear, which is why he was smiling, which is why he's saying thank you. Give up on your dreams and die. You can see that Erwin actually wants to be the responsible commander and not the child with dreams. Erwin actually wants to give up on those things. He was probably regretting, but like he knows what's the right thing to do, and he wants Levi to help him out, like to say the words that he says, and he says thank you because he needed that. And then you have the visual of the syringe being given. In the manga, it's like done in a way where it kind of looks like Erwin is like the one giving it to him. Now, Eren, before he leaves, he talks about Armin has dreams, and that's, the key word, dreams, that triggers the Kenny flashback. And he talks about, everyone's a slave to something, drunk on something, dreams, everyone has dreams, everyone needs dreams to fucking live. And Erwin was trapped by his dreams, and he wanted to be free, and Levi freed him. But then you have Armin talking about his dreams. It's very important, the difference between Armin and Erwin when they're talking about their dreams. In the same episode, Levi is asking Erwin, what the fuck are you going to do when you're done with your dreams? And he's like, I don't fucking know, bro. And when he does answer, it's like eliminating threats, which is funny considering where the series is going. But he was done, like he barely could answer. And, now we have the guilt. This guy was just not, had the energy and the motivation. And it's very likely that after the basement, this guy could stop doing anything as good as he once was. He could lose motivation. What else is there in that basement that's gonna justify all those fucking deaths that Erwin has caused and make him like, whatever, it's cool? No, like he's probably still gonna hate himself, and if not, gonna kill himself. I don't know. And in that episode, you have Armin talking about his dreams, and who was there to fucking listen to that shit? Levi. This is why I think Armin is important for this equation. If Armin didn't matter for this choice, then Levi didn't have to be there to listen to that. Like, you see him, I wouldn't have to put this guy in there. Armin matters because Armin is still hopeful, is still excited, like his eyes are shining brightly when he's talking about his dreams. In the manga, there's like a panel where like he's actually looking, like he's paying attention. He's listening to this fucking kid, and this kid is hopeful. This kid is like not broken like Erwin is. But this kid could do something. There's also another aspect that I think it's interesting, and it's the fact that the desire to see the outside world, I think it mirrors Levi's life and his friends from the underground. Like, they lived their entire lives, and they had the desire to go to the surface. At the very least, Levi has had friends that felt the same way that Armin has felt. The dream to go to the outside world, the dream to go to the surface, they are similar. And I think he resonates with that kid personally. When Floch was giving his speech and he talks about how he wants to bring the devil, that is Erwin Smith, back to hell, that's when Levi has a reaction, because that's what reviving Erwin was going to do, is going to bring him back to suffer. With 90 more people joining in that fucking pile of corpses that he has, and Levi doesn't want that. He wants to set him free. Erwin's thanking him for setting him free, and to bring him back would have been really cruel. There's this idea that is kind of like in this chapter or episode of like selfishness, because Eren and Mikasa are being selfish because they want Armin, and Levi is being selfish because he wants his friend to not suffer. The best logical choice for humanity is Erwin. It really is. Like, they need this hardened, experienced soldier to help them out in their time of need because their fighting is not done. But there's also the perspective of humanity itself being selfish for trying to revive Erwin back, for not letting the man rest, for wanting him to be this devil. We were forcing this guy to be the devil. He didn't want to be the devil. At his core, he felt bad about this shit. He had guilt over his decisions. He acted like he didn't care, but he did. We wanted him to not care. We wanted someone that would make the hard decision. And Armin admired this quality. You can fucking bet your fucking ass that Armin's not gonna exactly be fucking happy. Huh, good choice. No, Armin's gonna be like, what the fuck? Why? Why would you do that? Because objectively speaking, Erwin is the best choice. Everyone is being selfish here. Everyone. Okay, including Levi. But Levi suggests that humanity itself is being selfish. But having said that, Floch is just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You fucks, what the fuck? There's probably even more that I could be adding here, other perspectives. Again, this is like a very complex fucking thing, and there's so many perspectives here, and I think it's so interesting. Levi's like, yo, bro, my friend's suffering. Like, I just want him to fucking rest. So be sure to write that in your reports to Zachary, okay? I wanted my friend to rest. Erwin, like, trusted Levi to make the right decision, and was this the right decision? Logically, maybe not. Morally? Maybe not, I don't know, like, it depends on your perspective, doesn't it? Now, we're not done. There's another death in this chapter, and that is Bertolt. Now, I remember in one of my reviews, I was talking about how Bertolt had this sudden change, right? And I think I specifically said that this is not really a character arc, right? I think I said something like that. Maybe I cut that in the editing, I don't know. But like, it wasn't really a character arc. And what I mean by that is that at the end of the day, this guy's like reverting back to old Bertolt. He's reverting back so much that when he's like about to be eaten, he turns around and he sees his comrades, his friends. He's like, yo guys, save me. And he's smiling for like a second because he thought they were friends, because those were the precious comrades that he loved. And then he looks at them and they're like way in the back, crying, holding each other, tears, just whoa, and they're shocked. And it's like, oh shit, that is exactly what I was doing when Marco was getting eaten. Oh, those are not my friends. And he's about to be eaten, and he's yelling, Reiner, Annie, and he dies. I think all the Bertolt shit that we were having in these past few episodes, I don't think that was a character arc. I don't think that was a genuine change. In fact, I think that was Bertolt really forcing himself to be, the guy that everyone wanted him to be. Right? Just like Erwin had to be the devil. Reiner, and maybe Zeke and other people too, were like, yo, Bertolt, you're kind of like a pushover. You're unreliable. And he's like, I know. And he's trying really hard to be reliable. I think he's just a genuine good person, and that was forced into a bad situation. At the end of the day, like, he killed a bunch of people. But I'm not celebrating this death. I think this is fucking tragic to seeing this fucking guy like this. But yeah, man. Armin's fucking alive, and isn't that great? There's one thing I want to talk about as how Levi is talking with Erwin and promising him, hey bro, like, I failed to be silent, I'm gonna kill him. Hange like checking him, is like, oh, he's dead. And that is an exact parallel of Levi's introduction. There's like a soldier that's dying, Petra is there instead of Hange, and like he's giving a speech that he's dead, and he's like, oh, it's the same fucking thing. And the episode ends with Armin, who has a lot of abs. This fucking kid is hot. What the fuck? What the fuck? So this episode is titled The Midnight Sun, and what the hell does that mean? Well, let me read an Insane interview. The basic idea of the title is that the sky is bright even in the dark nights. Bright like the sun does not set. In other words, Erwin's death means the sun has set, but in fact, it still feels like the sun never sets. The title sort of contains this message. Now, in the manga, there is like a panel with Armin, and there's like the sun behind him. I really feel like Armin is the sun. Erwin's death means that it's night, but there's still a sun shining. Armin can still, do some good. All hope is not lost. The fan sub, instead of devil, they said demon. The devil is an important word. There's another instance where Floch specifically calls himself a coward. In the official translation, in the manga, not in the fan sub. And I think that is actually it's a really big deal that Floch calls himself a coward. It's gonna make him going to act in a certain way, make certain decisions. But yeah, man, Armin lives, how shocking, bro, that the fucking narrator of the fucking show fucking survives. Never mind the fact that in the preview for the next episode, the narrator said Armin and not I. Anyway, that's it, man. This was a big-ass fucking video. Jesus fucking Christ, I am tired. It's gonna be a nightmare to edit too. And to render, holy shit, my computer is just gonna fuck my ass. So this is probably gonna be super late by the time you're watching this, which is, it's unfortunate. But there's just so many characters and shit to talk about. And again, I could have went even more in depth. I don't have a script, so I'm just like kind of scatterbrained. But again, Zeke and Grisha connection, woo! Levi's choice, Floch's character. Wow. This fucking guy comes out of nowhere and is immediately more interesting than, you know, no offense, but like Coney and Sasha. Like, I think this guy is like way more engaging, interesting, and his voice actor. Boom, immediately. I had a friend of mine who was like, yo, fuck this guy, I hate him. If you already hate Floch, this was amazing episode. Is it the best one? It's kind of hard for me to say that because like the Serum Bowl, I like the conflict. I don't like how it got there. Again, I think it's a little contrived, you know. Yeah, like Armin surviving that shit is like, yeah, okay. But yeah, that's it. I have a bunch of other Attack on Titan videos. Most of them are reviews, but because I think you've seen, right, that I go in depth about a lot of things. I could have made like a separate video about a lot of these topics. But, you know, I put a lot of shit into one video. I shouldn't do that. But I'm just saying that, you know, maybe you want to check out some of the other reviews, some of the other smaller discussion videos, just to see other interesting things that I, you know, have to talk about. And that, you know, that's it. You know, next episode is going to be crazy, though. This is controversial. Next episode is going to be even more controversial. In fact, the most controversial shit ever in Attack on Titan by far. It's going to be the reveal of everything that's going on. The reveal of everything. Like, there's going to be mysteries. But it's not going to be the same way. Like, you're going to know everything. The basement, my boy. Are you kidding me? Nah. Get ready for some shit. Get ready for some shit clickbait news articles about how Attack on Titan is, like, problematic and stuff. I'm so excited for that. I'm genuinely excited. Because it's easy to dismiss that. And for the most part, yeah, fuck that. But honestly, there's an interesting side to that I want to talk about too. So good. I'm so ready for people to explode, and I'm ready for me to explode so that I can just like fucking say to my friends that this is what's going on. You know, I'm trying. It's so hard to not spoil, and honestly, I've already like spoiled some stuff here and there accidentally. Sometimes it's not accidentally. Sometimes I talk with people that don't care, and then later like, I kind of like the show. What the fuck? This legitimately happened, by the way. Yeah. You know, watch my videos, and I don't know where they are, and you know, I'll see you later. Right? Yeah. Or you're gonna see me. I don't know about you, but subscribe and click the like button. You know, like share my shit. You know, do things for me to, you know, make more videos and, you know, feel like less of a disappointment to my parents. See you later.
Just so close.